Holy crap. The Bears, they should just, like, delete their franchise. Holy crap. Whatever happens, the Bears are always going to suck. It's just going to happen. That's all. But even if Justin Fields plays well, which he did. The Rams won. They almost blew it. But at least they didn't. And the Patriots suck. Yeah, here we go. Run the play of the day.
Field. Cousins throws, picked off, and it could be trouble up the far sideline. Sam Franklin from the 1-yard line. Cousins trying to track him down. He'll cut it back, get a block, and he'll go 99 yards for the score. Allen Iverson style. Herbert takes. Whoa! Holy cow! That is ejectable offense. He absolutely hammered Herbert on the Chargers sideline, and Jerry Tillery is deep.
3rd down and 4. Stafford throws. There he is. Nakua to the end zone. Rams win.
One thing is for sure, you're not coming out of the game. How much pain were you in this second half?
It was uncomfortable.
And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the NFL. Of course, please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the Week 4 NFL Sunday recap. Of course, it was a pretty good day of football. A lot of stuff happened, and yeah, I got the injury report for you guys. Again, first bye weeks are next week, so if you see like these week 6 questionable, it's because of that. Ryan Neal, Mike Evans both had suffered injuries. Kenny Pickett had a little bit left the game with a knee injury. Andrews Pete is still questionable. He was out with concussion. Probably be back though. Matt Judon probably won't play. Like tore a bicep. That was pretty rough. Christian Gonzalez left the game with a shoulder injury. I don't know about him. What is it called? Matthew Stafford blew out his hip. I hope he's not dead yet. We'll see. And then of course Justin Herbert also screwed up his finger. So yeah. What else? Javonte Williams also left the game with a hip injury. What else? Ethan Pope screwed up his knee. And outside of that, I mean, yeah, T. Higgins got clocked. There was nothing huge. Marlon Mack, I guess, has tore his Achilles, so that's pretty bad too. Keep going. Chris Rodriguez has an illness. He might not play. We'll see though. Kyle Phillips is expected to return week 5, so that's good to again against at the Colts. Again, that's what I got there. Keep going up. What is it called? Cam Jurgens, the guard, is doubtful. So with the foot injury, I didn't see really what happened there. And nothing super notable outside the fact that Teron Armstead will be out versus the Giants, and Devin Lloyd will be out in London. Again, they're still there. What is it called? Jelani Woods is expected to return week 6. Dallas Flowers, the cornerback, basically their best corner so far this year outside of Kenny Moore, is going to come back. Nothing else too big. Again, there's a lot of different stuff. Tevin Jenkins is expected to return for you Bears fans, if there's any of you guys anymore. Oh, yeah, and biggest one of the day, Tre'Davious White has towards Achilles for the 2nd time in the last 3 years. Wait, was this an ACL? Tre'Davious injury versus Saints. Oh, he tore his ACL. So he's torn his ACL and his Achilles the 2 of the last 3 years. That's pretty bad. He's out of rough. Really hope he has a speedy recovery and he can get back to football when he can. Obviously, it's all about his mental health though, because that's really what it's all about. Good luck to Tre'Davious White in his recovery, and that just freaking really sucks. And that's all I got here for the injury report, guys. Let's roll into the highlights. Here was the first London game of the year.
Really lucked out in London all week. The weather has been nice, a balmy 73 degrees and overcast for the Falcons and the Jaguars.
In one first half before punting, and Lawrence a lot of time will take off, and he's got a lot of space. And the long strider galloping all the way to Atlanta territory. Lawrence sidesteps the pressure there. That was Richie Grant whiffing and throws to Tenzo. Touchdown. Calvin Ridley is involved against his former team. A 36. More thin air to work with, doesn't matter. Pushes across, Ritter looking back to the right side and throws an interception. He threw it right into the hands of Darius Williams, who's going to take it all the way to the end zone. Big the toss to Algier, Ritter down the middle for another pick. Oh my goodness, Andre Sisco to safety up and moving. He loses the football. And just get it off. Pressure is picked up, lofting to the end zone, caught for a touchdown by Drake London. McManus from 43. Ritter on the move.
the Jags did indeed win their first of 2 London games, of course, back-to-back weeks with a 23-7 defensive-minded, I guess, win. They go to 2-2, of course, bouncing back from that home loss versus the Texans. Again, the Falcons have lost second back-to-back games, and it's been a frustrating 2 weeks for them. Stats-wise, yeah, Desmond Ridder wasn't very good. I mean, he looked better in the second half. Like, third quarter, he had one nice drive with that touchdown. Why am I on this? But outside of that, he wasn't that crazy. Of course, he did have a touchdown, but they throw 2 picks, of course, including that pick 6. 191 yards, 19-31. He just really struggled to throw the ball downfield as it stood. They didn't run the ball really at all, and it just didn't really work out either. Like, Tyler Algier had nowhere to go. Bijan Robinson was basically just him playing hero ball at that point. Like, there's nothing else really to do there. Jonathan Smith was really explosive, but that was about it. Bijan Robinson, again, kind of doing his own thing. Drake London outside the touchdown was really frustrating. Kyle Pitts simply just wasn't getting the football, and I don't know what the hell's going on with him. Eventually, Richie Grant was pretty good with 9 tackles. Nate Landman, he did struggle a bit, but he did have 8 tackles. David Onyemata, 1.5 sacks, really their only sign of pressure at all. Calais Campbell did have a couple nice plays, though. I like what this defense did. They weren't, like, really that crazy or that bad either. Again, outside of the couple runs they gave to Trevor Lawrence in that touchdown, I think they were fine. Like, and Jesse Bates played a really fantastic game as well. So, really frustrating loss for them. Jags-wise, though, Trevor Lawrence was very average in this game. He didn't miss too many throws. Nothing really that crazy, but he did go for 42 yards on 8 carries on the ground. And Travis Etienne Jr., not very efficient, but he did break a couple tackles. Also, 3 for 17 in the receiving game. And speaking of that, Christian Kirk had a very good day, 8 for 84. Evan Ingram wasn't very, like, he was in the game for sure, but he just wasn't making too many big plays. Of course, Calvin Ridley with that 30-yard touchdown. Eventually, Foyce Aluakung had 8 tackles. Where's him? Andre Sisco had a pick. Jarius Williams, of course, with a pick 6. Someone else forced a fumble. Josh Allen had 3 sacks. He was really good. Trayvon Walker finally did something with a sack. Yeah, this defense looked really, really good. And team stats-wise, again, pretty even with actual yardage. Yeah, it wasn't like the Jags moved the football too much. They had a lot of field goals. They had the ball a little longer, too. And just, again, the 3-0 turnover ratios was a huge difference as well. 42 sacks, again, you could argue that was, too. Again, the Jags played a cleaner brand of football, and they just didn't really suck on offense for the whole game. So that's kind of what the difference this game was. It wasn't like the Falcons were totally lost, though. That's all I'll put it. Let's get right into the keys game grades. And offensively for the Falcons, I said run the ball to the outside 10-plus times in the first half. They didn't even get close to that. I mean, they tried to, but it didn't work out. They didn't really actually, the screens they were running with Bijan was weird. It was really just Desmond Ridder hitting other guys. I think if they, again, incorporate that more, that would be better. Desmond has to show his second read and stride, hit his second read. He didn't even, like, go to it. And again, Kyle Pitts, he got some targets. It just was a complete mess. Offensively, I have to give him 4 minuses. It was, honestly, I'm not going to completely down. Honestly, I'll give him 5 minuses. That was a bad performance. Running game was simply dead. Desmond made a ton of mistakes, and it was just a complete crap show at some points. Defensively, forced Trevor to run the ball to get. Yeah, he did. Against the grain, they were pretty good. And yeah, they did get a couple, like 2 or 3 big plays, but defensively overall, they were really good. I really like what I saw there. I'll give them 3 pluses. Again, outside of that 1 touchdown, a couple of the runs they gave to Trevor, picture perfect game plan. They should have won this game for sure. Their offense just kind of sucks. That's all I got there. Time for the Jags. And for the Jaguars, I said Trevor under 40 pass attempts. I think he might have got that. Yeah, he had that. 30-plus first downs, not even close. And Calvin Ridley, 2 touchdowns. He did have 1, so I mean that's something. Offensively, it was kind of like a whatever day. I'll give them a plus, though. I don't think they played that bad. Defensively, keep the offense in. Yeah, they were actually overall really good. What is it called? Darius Williams played awesome. Honestly, there's really nothing to complain about with this defense. They basically did everything they could ask, outside of some tackling issues. But again, they were really good. 7 points is never something to scoff at. 5 pluses. Time for the first 1 o'clock game, Ravens and Browns. Here were the highlights, if you can call them that.
The NFL on CBS brings us to Cleveland Browns Stadium today. Kevin Stefanski's Browns take on John Harbaugh's Baltimore Ravens. The throw. Off the deflection. The Ravens have it at the 10. Jackson takes it himself for the touchdown.
It's in the backfield.
Working out of the gun. Jet sweep. Elijah Moore trying to reverse field. He's going in the wrong direction. Moore trying to break away, and he just had Hopkins. He drives it. What the hell? The ball's free. Poor exchange to Hill, and the Ravens cough it up.
Right here.
Snap it. Jackson shake and bake for the touchdown. Right now the Ravens are back in their own territory. Jackson looking to dial it up. Jackson has time. Jackson gets out of the pocket. He's going to throw on the move. Rainbow. Seconds to go in the first half. Shotgun. Jackson up high, handled, Andrews, touchdown. Probably outplaying expectations, but that's part of it, the mystery of the NFL. Robinson, intercepted. Geno Stone.
It's a small little taste, that's all I'm asking.
Come on, about 8 minutes to go. Jackson darts one ahead, Ricard in the receiving end.
That's Detroit now, which is different than what they thought.
Jackson to Andrews for the touchdown. Lamar Jackson lays it out there on the move. Time has expired. He fires, intercepted. Kyle Hamilton.
The Ravens went into Cleveland and took care of business with their stopping of the Browns. Of course, the big story from this one, Lamar was really, really good. 4 total touchdowns. The Browns' defense finally looked human. But then again, their offense was putrid, of course, behind 3 interceptions in a really, really, showing of why they do, in fact, need Deshaun Watson. Lamar Jackson, 15 of 19, 186 touchdowns. Didn't particularly throw the ball downfield too much. Again, he had some really nice throws outside the numbers, but he was just really solid hitting those throws. Of course, had 2 touchdowns on the ground. The run game wasn't particularly efficient, but it really worked when they needed to. Of course, Melvin Gordon, that one really nice run, almost got in the end zone. Mark Andrews, I think it's like his 8th career game, I think, something like that, with 2 plus touchdowns. He was really good, 5 for 80, again, 2 touchdowns. Zay Flowers had 1 bomb of catch. Melvin Gordon, again, had a really nice catch and run, too. No one was really, particularly that crazy outside of Mark Andrews receiving-wise, but they all made their own contributions. Defensively, Roquan Smith, 6 tackles, was honestly probably his best game so far. Really good in coverage. Kyle Hamilton, 5 tackles and interception. Outside of the one play he got burned, he was fine. Patrick Queen, 4 tackles and the sack was good. Broderick Washington had a sack as well. And Justin Matabuke, their interior pressure was off the charts. Again, partly because they lost their starting center and Ethan Bokic. Brandon Stevens and Geno Stone also had picks. Of course, Kyle Hamilton caught the pick at the end of the game, too. Jordan Stout did have to punt the ball 7 times, though. Dorian Thompson-Robinson-wise, 19 of 36, 121, 3 interceptions. That's what you expect from him in his debut, I'm not going to lie. He is definitely a wild thrower, and you could definitely saw in this game he was not good. And the running game was basically pure crap. Pierce Arn Jr. one long run. It was not a good game. None of the guys really blocked super well. I don't think it's anything crazy, though. Dorian Thompson-Robinson starting was a big part of that. Defensive, the receiving core, I mean, there's really nothing else to say. Amari Cooper getting 1 catch is inexcusable. I don't care who that's a quarterback. JOK, 6 tackles. Yeah, that's what he did. Anthony Rucker Jr., 5 tackles, 1 turnover, 4 tackles. They both did okay. The pressure overall was very prevalent for sure, but I just don't know how much this defense, except that really forcing turnovers and really getting off the field on 3rd down. There's really nothing else you could say about this defense. They did their job. Why am I going on this? Stats-wise, though, yeah, the Ravens had more yards, but it wasn't either team really did much. Again, the Browns, in fact, did have the ball longer. Again, neither one of these teams really dominated offensively. Again, the Ravens' offensive line, I think, was definitely a little better, but 3 interceptions by, DTR really made the difference, and also 4 total touchdowns by Lamar Jackson is a really good day. First game ever for him with multiple touchdowns on the ground and through the air. That's all I got there. Let's get keys to the game grades. Offensively, the Ravens, I said Lamar having a couple long runs and sliding. I mean, he had a couple touchdowns. Zay Flowers didn't get too many targets, but it was okay because he was getting covered a lot. Or not, yeah. Don't go it for when you don't need to, and yeah, they did have the ball pretty decent. Not as much as you'd really like, but again, they didn't really move the ball that dominantly, but I'll still give them 4+. It's just because of the fact they played safe football, and they converted on those turnovers. Ravens defense forced Deshaun Watson, or actually, DTR, and they did avoid man press on 3rd, and Jerome Ford did not have any long runs. Defensively, it was basically a picture-perfect game plan. They'll give a couple yards, but 160 yards against 3 picks is nothing to scoff at if you're a defense. 3+, it's time for the Browns. Alright, looking at Cleveland, I said Jerome Ford, 5+ catches. I think he had something like that. Down Peoples-Jones really didn't do a lot at all, and then Deshaun Watson did not play. I mean, it's kind of hard to blame him, but overall, that was a stinker of a game. I'll give them 4+. Again, if they didn't, 4-. If they didn't have Deshaun Watson, definitely would have been a better game. Defensively, though, Sione Takitaki can't bite on play action. He did a little bit. Soft coverage on Zay Flowers, yep. And JOK overall did his job. So, honestly, defensively, I'll give them an equal sign. I don't think they played great. I don't think they played terrible. Again, if they were just a little better in the red zone and didn't get 4 touchdowns, they could have gave their offense a better chance. But it was overall just a meh game for them. Time for the Steelers and Texans.
NRG Stadium in Houston, the place is juiced. C.J. Stroud and the Texans look. Here's Pierce, catch and run. Pierce breaking free. He's got his team taking on tacklers inside the 50.
Big first drive, but just so many mistakes inside.
Stroud, little sidearm delivery to the end zone. It's Nico Collins. Season he had last year, 9 sacks, most in almost 10 years. Pickett's going to take a chance. Deep up the seam, and it is picked. Intercepted by Nelson. Longest such streak in the NFL. So we'll try this one from 36. Good snap by John Wheat. Fairbairn's been perfect, hit from 36. His PAT was perfect, and this one from 38 yards out.
I can even catch.
It's a big statement. How do they navigate here with no timeouts? He fires, completes. Collins making a miss. Collins off to the races. And boy, the Houston Texans cash in again. One always knew how talented Bernard was. Could he stay healthy as Boswell good operation, and Chris Bob
Collins. They've gone out there and made plays on this drive. Watch
10 play. Singletary's going to throw it to the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown.
Back in, creep up in this game. Their front has been able to mask some of that.
There's a pass. Beautiful ball. Collins, and he's going to waltz in.
Yeah, the Houston Texans blow the doors and shock the Steelers with a 36 thumping. Yeah, that's how I'll put it. I will say Kenny Pickett did get hurt, and Mitch Trubisky did absolutely nothing when he came in. But Kenny Pickett abandoned the pocket a lot, and he really missed a lot of underneath throws. Like, he had some easy plays. Najee Harris overall still brick feet, but at least he had a better yards per carry than usual. Jalen Warren really did struggle to get off tackles. And again, yeah, Kenny Pickett just wasn't very good. But the interception, I will say, was an arm punt. And then with Najee Harris being your leading receiver, you kind of know what type of offensive day it was for them. Their offensive line also really sucked. Defensively, though, Minka Fitzpatrick was basically lost in coverage, but he did have a lot of nice plays against the run, which I think was part of it. He got really frustrated. Pat Pete was terrible. The whole secondary as a whole was pretty bad. I will say this, though, they did get some pressure. Like TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith were doing their jobs, again, getting pressure. But it was just, again, overall frustrating game for the Steelers team. And now I thought you could definitely see the lack of talent in that secondary. I mean, Minka's really the only guy back there, and you could just see he was trying to do everything. And obviously this receiving core was pretty bad, too. Texans-wise, TJ Stroud, Sam 16 of 33, 60 touchdowns. A couple of those throws were throwaways. Again, they were getting pressure on him. But, again, TJ Stroud was really good, but he wasn't perfect, per se. Damian Pierce ran I won't say all of them, but ran down their throat. And, again, not very good efficiency, but it worked out in the end. Nico Collins, massive day, 7 for 168, 2 touchdowns. If you have him fantasy, good for you. He's really turned into that really explosive #1 receiver. Dalton Schultz, 342 and a touchdown, was also his best game of the season. Damian Pierce also ran over some guys in that catch. Defensively, there's really nothing to complain about. I mean, everyone really did their job. Jimmy Ward, again, really played out of it, too. Steven Nelson, of course, with that one arm punt pick. They were playing so well over the top. Jonathan Grenard was getting pressure nearly every snap. And Christian Harris didn't miss many tackles. That's what I got to say. Team stats-wise, I mean, Texans thoroughly outgained them in every single way. They had double the amount of first downs and the ball longer. They literally outplayed them in every single way. Outside of maybe the pressure-wise, because, again, the Steelers did get a lot of pressure. I'm going to be honest there, but 69 total plays, too. I mean, this was just a good old-fashioned butt-whooping. If the Steelers' offense, the run game has to stop sucking, it was still not very good, but it was better. Broderick Jones didn't play. Kenny Pickett, honestly, he might have had that. I don't think he had it in the whole freaking first half as a whole. So, offensively, they were just straight up trash. They moved the ball a little. That's why I'm not giving them anything lower than this, but that was a bad performance. Defensively, it was simply the fact that no one in the secondary really could cover that well, and I'll be honest, the Steelers' defense coordinator just didn't really scheme up that well. I mean, their run defense, again, it was decent, but CJ just kind of had all the time in the world at some points. So, again, just the fact that they just really didn't have many good plays and stuff, I'm going to honestly have to give them, what I'll say. I'll give them, 6 minuses. They weren't particularly terrible, but they had a bad day. Time for the Texans. Alright, yeah, Dane Tell didn't get many targets, but Nico Collins, of course, had a massive day. They were really good with play action as well. CJ Stroud, again, just lit it up. Again, the running game could have been a little more efficient, but I'm good with it. I'll give him 5 pluses. Great day. Defensively, Jonathan Grenard was awesome, again, on that outside shoulder play. And then Steven Nelson was also really good. I think they only got 1 turnover, but they had a really solid day on defense too. I'm honestly gonna give them 6 pluses. Again, they smothered that offensive line. They were beating them up. Not as well as the Steelers maybe were, but that was a really good defensive performance. Now let's get to the Tank Bowl.
Which quarterback will take center stage today? Will it be Russell Wilson of the Broncos or Justin Fields of the Bears? Wilson gets rid of it to McLaughlin at the 15, up ahead, and he's still going for a touchdown. 9th play of the drive, first down and 10. Fields was looking deep. He's going to take a shot. Downfield, he's got a man more. Was he in? No signal yet. Touchdown! 7. Fields wide open. This comeback. Touchdown Bears. 19. Flea flicker. Fields gets tacked and is caught on the jumper. Was he in bounds? Yes. Play fake. Fields rolling right. He's going to turn it up, or is he going to throw it? He does. Touchdown. Number 2 for Cole Kmet. Play of the drive. 3rd and goal. Fields keeping the play alive to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown! They're throwing. Wilson has time. Good protection to the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Brandon Johnson. Wilson over the middle. Caught. Touchdown. Cortland Sutton. 1st and 10. Play fake. Pressure's coming. Fields lost the football. Cooper scoops it up. Off to the races. And he will score. They go for it. And I don't think he got there. Wilson on first down. He's looking deep. He's got Mims down there. Here goes Mims. The rookie. Tackled at the 34. And Lutz is 0 for 1. On 50-yard attempts this season. This one's on the way, and it is good! Down at 13. Santos' career long is 55 yards. Pressure coming. Fields over the middle. Intercepted! Picked off by Jackson, and he goes to the ground!
Yeah, the Broncos won the Tank Bowl in a very Tank Bowl way fashion, of course. Outscoring the what is called scoring 24 unanswered against the Bears, of course. 17-0 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, the Bears, they're just so bad. Russell Wilson was really, really good. Again, I don't think he pushed the ball downfield particularly well, but J.Lee McLaughlin might be their number 1 running back next week. I really don't know with Javonte Williams being out. But Russell Wilson was really good overall. Like, again, wasn't particularly good in the first half, but second half he really did turn it on. Jerry Jeudy, Marvin Mims Jr. both are just like aberrations, really. No one else did much in the receiving game. Again, yeah, 2 touchdowns from these guys, but it was really just J.Lee McLaughlin that was really that impressive. Defensively, they're still terrible. I will say this, though. They did, like, really step it up with their pressure. Nick Bonito, 2.5 sacks. Jonathan Cooper sack and a scoop and score. Of course, Kareem Jackson with that game-stealing interception after a terrible week last week. So, yeah, this defense is still really bad, but at least they, like, kind of showed what they could do in the fourth quarter, I guess. Bears, Justin Fields, kind of like tells the story. Career high in yards and touchdowns. The pick and the fumble in the fourth quarter kind of tell you where he still is. And he didn't really get many design keepers either. Khalil Herbert ran all over him. Like, they kind of had their way up basically until the fourth quarter with that offense. DJ Moore also a massive day for 131 touchdown. Cole Kmet 7 for 85, 2 touchdowns. Out-dueling, Mark Andrews. And also Khalil Herbert had a touchdown, and Equanimeous St. Brown had to catch off the flea flicker. And Chase Claypool might get benched. And outside of that, defensively, they still were really bad. I mean, at least they got some pressure, but that's literally all I'll say. Like, no one in the secondary did anything. Stats-wise, again, both teams had a lot of yards because it is a tank bowl. Yeah, the 0-2 turnover ratio, kind of the big difference there. The Bears, however, did have the ball longer, and their offensive line was worse, at least by sacks. And yeah, I really don't want to talk about this game anymore. Like, the Broncos came back in tank bowl fashion and beat the worst team in the league. Like, that's how I'll put it. Offensively, the Broncos, they basically didn't do anything. Again, the Javonte Williams thing was tough, but I really don't think they did anything until the fourth quarter. But they did have some resiliency, so I will give them 3 pluses. But it wasn't anything crazy. Defensively, they still suck. Like, I don't know what else to say. Good job. You got a pick six and a scoop and score and a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. I'll give you 3 minuses, but you still suck. You know, 4 minuses. You still suck. I don't care what else you do. Again, the Bears kind of flipped with the Broncos. At least their offense had, played, really well until that point. But it still wasn't anything crazy. Like, you still see this flaws with Justin Fields. But I will give them a plus because at least they did something. Defensively, they're still really bad. They can't really cover, but at least they were solid against the run at some point. So, for a defense that isn't very good, also I'll probably give them 4 minuses. But, yeah, this game just sucked. Time for Bengals and Titans. This game was probably worse. And, yeah, the Titans, I don't know what to think of you guys right now.
Where Joe Burrow leads the Bengals against the team he's undefeated against, the Tennessee Titans.
really nice stop by Tennessee.
So McPherson with a chip shot will bang a 3-yard Nick Folk try. This would be a season long, and the 16-year veteran delivered. In shot position, good blitz pickup by Mixon. Blows as he throws. That ball's loose. A flag is thrown on the play. Skidding up. Just a 3-man rush, so that means 8 back in coverage. A hurdling attempt by Chigo. Heavy pressure from Tennessee. Ball hit as he throws, and the theme continues. Sliding that protection to the right. It's Tannehill throwing right for Hopkins. And it's right on the money inside the Cincinnati 40. Fake to Henry again. Under pressure. Good hands catch that time for a touchdown. It's Nick Westbrook. The explosiveness they've been looking for. Speaking of explosiveness, Derrick Henry in open field. Derrick Henry's gone. Henry. Oh, jump pass. Touchdown. Josh Wiley, the first of his NFL career. More than 10-minute drive these last 4 seasons. Tannehill, deep shot, and it's picked off.
Bengals offense continues to struggle as they put up 3 points for the second week out of 4 weeks. Their offense has just been terrible. Derrick Henry basically ran the show, 2 touchdowns for that, and a huge bounce back win for that offense. Obviously, they have been very inconsistent this year. Joe Burrow, again, he was getting pressured every other down, but he was not good outside of that. Like, no pushing the ball downfield at all. Joe Mixon, why isn't he getting more carries? I really just straight up don't know. It's not like he's been particularly, I mean, it hasn't been like he's been explosive or anything, but he's at least been like, had some more juice than last year. Jamar Chase, 7 for 73. I mean, he wanted to throw his helmet at Joe Burrow. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. And yeah, no one else did anything in the receiving guard. They're all bumps. Nick's got 9 tackles. It was basically really just him against Derrick Henry most of the game. He did get stiff armed a little bit. Sam Hubbard had a sack. The defense overall didn't play terrible, but you can definitely see them starting to crumble towards the end. Dax did have a pick and 3 tackles as well, though. They did actually start in the fourth quarter. Neither team scored. Titans-wise, Ryan Tannehill at least had a bounce-back game, but he wasn't anything crazy. Derrick Henry did, of course, start that touchdown as well. And he had a huge game on the ground, on 20 carries, which I guess is a good thing. And he, of course, a 29-yard touchdown. Arm punt with the Ryan Tannehill pick as well. Diab had one nice play downfield. That's about it. Nick Westbrook continues to be the most consistent receiver. Chris Moore, was that a bomb or was that like a flip? I literally forgot that. And Josh Wiley also caught a touchdown. Defensively, Kevin Byard was back to his old self. The defense kind of just sat back, got pressure, and really went on a vacation against this struggling offense. Team stats-wise, again, 400 total yards for the Titans is really good, obviously, for them. They had the ball longer. Again, not really less turnovers, but the offensive line was at least a little more consistent. And, yeah, the Bengals offense kind of sucks. Time for the keys to game grades. All right, Bengals offensively, they did do check down Charlie, but it wasn't good, and every single guy, again, it was like a turnstile. They didn't have any of the explosive plays either. Offensively, that was a really rough performance. I'll give them 6 minuses. At least they didn't turn over the ball. Defensively, do what you've got. Honestly, 7 minuses, because honestly, if you're moving the football and turn it over, it's better than that. Do what you've done to Joe Tannehill? No, not really. Like, they just kind of ran the ball down your throats, and you really didn't stop it. So, defensively, I'm going to have to give you 2 minuses. At least kind of, sort of, whatever. Not really, but yeah, kept them in the game. Derrick Henry did finally have a good game. Ryan Tannehill was pushing the ball downfield. Nick Westbrook did get the football. So, offensively, it was kind of what you expect. I'll give them 3 pluses, especially with that offensive line playing better. Titans defense, they didn't give more than 18 points. They played very well. Again, playing against a bad offense does help, but also give them 5 pluses because there's nothing against giving them 3 points. They had a really good, I'll give them 6 pluses. That's all I'll say. Time for the Rams and Colts. Dang, was this game crazy.
To the following presentation of the National Football League.
It is electric here.
Body to get space for Matthew Stafford. On 1st and goal, Williams takes it in for a Rams touchdown. 5th score of the season. 1st and goal from the 3. Handoff, Williams, and he is in for his 2nd touchdown today. To Moss, Richardson 1st down. Fumble. When he was with the Detroit Lions. There's Maher from 40. His career log is 63 from 54 yards out. 7-yard attempt. And Gay's kick is wide to the right. from the left hash.
For the game, top shot.
Richardson complete. There is a flag. Bo Alley Cox fights his way into the end zone. 2nd and 10. Stafford's pass is picked off. From the left hash. What? Richardson fires downfield, and it is caught. There is a flag.
Imagine a quarterback keeper. There we go.
Richardson takes off. He's in. Touchdown. Huge play here. 4th down and 4. Richardson moving to his left. Now throws. It's complete. Richardson this time. The throw. Touchdown. Drew Ogletree.
Got him.
Richardson throws. Tie game. Michael Pittman.
Will be the first option for Matthew Stafford.
3rd down and 4. Stafford throws. There he is. Nakua to the end zone. Rams win.
Yep, the Rams escape Indy with a 29-23 win in overtime. Puka Nakua has honestly been the best receiver in the league this year, which is crazy because he's a rookie and he's a 5th-round pick, and yeah, no one expected this. But outside of that, yeah, the Colts, they can definitely play football. Rams, on the other hand, the moment Matt Stafford's hip went haywire, I'm like, Jesus, we're probably going to blow this game. And what happened? We almost did. Holy crap. I don't know what the hell happened. But, yeah, the Rams figured it out. Stafford was 27-43, 19 touchdown interception. The interception was, again, right off the hip injury. But, yeah, he's going to have to play like hell next week if they want any shot at beating the Eagles. Tyron Williams, 25 for 103 and 2 touchdowns. Again, first half he was running loose. Second half they really tried to contain him, and it was tougher for him, but at least they gave him the football. Ronnie Rivers was also really good. I like what I saw from him. Puka, again, 9 for 163, a touchdown. The Rams do need another running back. Again, he was off the charts. Again, over the game-winning touchdown, too. Tyler Higbee, I think he might have got hurt. Something happened there. And no one else really did much. Tutu Howard really did struggle to get downfield. They were running a lot of press against him. Defensively, I mean, against, like, tale of two halves. First half, they weren't giving him any space. They were just, like, putting that Colts offense in a vice. Defensive, second half, though, a lot of penalties. A lot of just straight up bad coverage by these guys. Like Kobe Durant, I don't know, he has not been good this year. Rush used a couple bad penalties too. They just played absolutely undisciplined, like straight up and down. Their run fits were terrible, and yeah, Kobe Turner just got kind of started getting dogged on towards the end of that thing. Brett Maher missing 2 field goals didn't help either, but like I really can't complain too much about him. Anthony Richardson, again, he had some huge completions. That's really what you got there. Their running game was basically just him. I mean, Zach Moss didn't do too much. The receiving game, again, just a couple big plays. Mohawk Cox, of course, had that touchdown. Defensively, they stepped up for sure, but the pressure, again, started to get on. But, again, really the corners were just asked to make tackles. Nothing much more than that. Again, they really didn't cover super well either. So, yeah, defensively, it wasn't a great game by that Colts defense, but at least they showed up in the second half. The yards-wise, the Rams had 467, so they definitely outgained them by a lot. They had the ball a lot longer, too. But then, again, it was the overtime stuff, too, so keeping that in mind, too, as well. But, yeah, the Colts definitely played a better fourth quarter than the Rams. 15-0 kind of tells you it. Yeah, I don't know. 23-0, guys. You can't have that happen again. I'll just put it like that. But it would be very different if we lost this game. Alright, Rams offensively, they did run the damn ball, and Puka Nakua did get the football. Offensively, again, it was just Matt Stafford getting hurt, and they just put up a goose egg after the field goal. So, I'm going to be honest, I'll probably give them about, like, honestly, a plus, because they did bounce back. But you just can't be like that again next week. It can't be that hot and cold stuff. Rams defense, bend, don't break. They did definitely do that. Kobe Durant didn't do much. They didn't get too much pressure either. Defensively, it was just a complete collapse. I'll give them a plus. Again, the Rams played awesome in the first half. I'll be honest with you. Like, watch all the film there. They had a really good, well-oiled first half. But first half, honestly, I gave them 2 pluses offensively. But second half was just a complete disaster. Colts time. Alright, for Indy, I say Colts offense, run the ball 30-plus times. They did that. They did put the onus on the big bros in the red zone. Gardner Minshew wasn't even playing, so it was AR. But AR played, again, wasn't consistent at all, but he did figure it out somehow. I don't even know how it worked, but eventually just the resiliency, I'll give them 3 pluses. Again, they didn't really have that crazy of a game, but they figured it out. Defensively, it was just the fact they got pressure in the fourth quarter and Matt Stafford hurt his hip. That's kind of what you got there. They weren't really that good. I'll give them 2 minuses, but hey, they did step up like, at least a little bit. So that's all I'll say there. Time for the Vikings Panthers, another 0-3 matchup. Let's go.
Charlotte, North Carolina, week 4 of the NFL on Fox. And Hawkinson to the wide side of the field. Cousins throws, picked off, and it could be trouble up the far sideline. Sam Franklin from the 1-yard line. Cousins trying to track him down. He'll cut it back, get a block, and he'll go 99 yards. And Pinheiro connects in the red zone, a 99-yard pick six. Cousins play action being chased down. Cousins looking, throwing, caught for the touchdown. Justin Jefferson from the 21. Cousins hit as he throws, up for grabs, intercepted. Career long is 54, this from 56. Pinheiro line drive kick, it is good. Play clock dwindling down, he'll get it off. Young being tracked down, the ball comes out, and it's picked up by Wadham. DJ Wadham rumbling inside the 20, he'll go all the way. The final play of the quarter, could be a freebie. Cousins to the end zone, it is caught. Jefferson for another touchdown. First win of the year. Empty set. Young, sack from behind, and that'll do it.
Yup, the Vikings figured out a way to beat the Panthers 21-13. Of course, there were 2 touchdowns, a scoop and score by the Vikings, and a 99-yard play of the day worthy scoop pick six by Sam Franklin on the Panthers. Yeah, this game was basically what you'd expect from 2 0-3 teams. But Kirk Cousins, very ugly game, but he figured a way to make throws, again, crucial throws. That's what I'll say about him. Their run game was fantastic. The offensive line finally woke up. Justin Jefferson was basically their only receiver, 6 for 85, 2 touchdowns. No one else did literally anything. Defensively, though, Cam Bynum still really can't cover, but he did have 9 tackles, and they had, like, 6 sacks. They were getting pressure. The Panthers offense continues to be dead. I mean, they scored 6 points. Like, the defense really dominated up front. And, I mean, Daniel Hunter didn't have a sack, but he was getting pressure basically every down. And speaking of that, you gotta say, like, 3 sacks from Harrison Smith. He blitzed a lot, 8 tackles too. Bryce Young, 25, 32, 204. Like, he was just not good. Bro, you gotta like stop being a pussy and push the ball in some of these windows. I'm like, stop taking those. Their running game was putrid. Their offensive line was putrid too. Again, Adam Thielen, pretty good day, but outside of that, like, they get nothing downfield. Defensively, Jeremy Chin was overall really good. Of course, at the sack. Santa Francisco Jr., of course, was a 99-yard pick six. Cameron Grugier-Hill also had an interception, but again, they were just a little inconsistent against. They really didn't figure it out against. But it's what Justin Jefferson. Dante Jackson continuously shows he's not a number 1 corner, despite how fast he can be. So yeah, that's not great there. Stats-wise, the Vikings did have the. It was basically just a very defensive game overall, though. Nothing really much happened. I mean, the Panthers really drained the clock sometimes. Again, 2-to-1 turnover ratio in favor of the Panthers, though. But, like, again, their offensive line just kind of sucked, and that's kind of all I got to say. Yeah, the Vikings offense didn't really choke. They figured out a way to hold on. So, I'm going to be honest. I'll give them, like, I don't know, a plus offensively. The reason, like, you know, honestly, I'll give them a plus. I like what I saw from that running game. Defensively, again, they were on the right side of this one-score game because they didn't really choke at the end. Yeah. I'm going to be honest, again, Daniel Hunter was really good. They really were disruptive. So, for that reason, I'll be honest, look at this defense, 4 pluses. I like what I saw for sure. Again, I'll give it 5 plus. They only get 6 points. Time for the Panthers. All right, Panthers offense is just terrible with Bryce Young, I guess, because they were just not good at all. They were just bad. So, for that reason, I'll give them, I don't know, 5 minuses. It was really bad. Eventually, though, they kept the game close. So, I'll give them 3 pluses for that. They did give them some big plays once in a while. Their run defense was really bad. But in the end, they figured it out. So, what the hell? I don't know what's going on there, but... Oh, shoot. What is this? 17? Figure that out. Yep. Okay, now let's get the Bucs and Saints. Yeah, this game was kind of weird.
Welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Robert Smith, Chris Myers back here in the Super 7 yards away. And he nails it. Mayfield. Evans, he's got it. Tackled right away. Mayfield in trouble. Throws. It's a touchdown. Evans looks on with a hamstring problem. Mayfield to throw again. Floating one for the end zone. And it's intercepted. Isaac Yiadom with the pick. Okay, thank you for clarifying. We vote with you as the fullback carries to dig it out. The ball's loose on the back. Prentice lost the football. Mayfield floating it for Palmer, the rookie. Trey Palmer hauls it in for a Buccaneer touchdown. Just the four-man rush. Carr airing it out deep. Olave is back there. Knocked away in the end zone. What a play from Winfield.
That you have multiple options to get the first down.
And the rookie from Notre Dame drills this through. The kick, it's up there, it's out there, and it's through there. Blake Rupe up there, and from 44 away. Godwin has it, flag down. Baker hesitates, wanted his tight end. And throws, diving, but did he get in the end zone? Devin Tompkins, touchdown! To make it a 26-9 game, and he's got it.
Baker and the Bucs bounced back with a dominating defensive, whatever you want to call it, win against the Saints. Of course, Saints, Derek Carr played on a bad arm, and you could see it throughout the game. He really continuously, outside the one bomb he cooked up to Chris Olave, didn't push the ball downfield at all. They moved 3-1, Saints moved 2-2. They now possess first place of the NFC South. Baker, outside of that one pick in the red zone, again, it was kind of a 50-50 ball. He was really, really good. 25, 32, 246, 3 touchdowns. Mike Evans did not get hurt again. He had to play with Marshawn Lattimore. Guarantee you that he would have thrown for a lot more yards and a couple more touchdowns. The running game actually wasn't too bad. Keyshawn Vaughn really didn't hit holes too well. I think this offensive line did penetrate somewhat well. But the fact that Baker got the ball well, pretty quick, and Rachaad White did have a couple nice carries, I think really helped out this offense. Meanwhile, defensively, Anton Winfield Jr. really just played linebacker positions. When Christian Izing had a lot of tough matchups, he did play pretty well with that though. D. Delaney had an interception. Let's call it Vita Vea had 2 sacks, getting a ton of pressure. I love what this defense did. I like the approach for sure. Oh yeah, Christian Godwin for 114 had a really good day too. And Devon Tompkins 445 touchdown. K-Dot and Trey Palmer also had a couple of nice ones. Of course, Trey Palmer on that fade route. Derek Carr 27 and 30, 127. I already talked about his yards. Area per attempt was like 3. It was really bad. They didn't again. Alvin Kamara had 24 touches. He had 13 catches. Kind of told you what they wanted to do with him. And no one else did anything. Like, bro, Chris Olave had 1 catch for 4 yards. He was getting targets. He just wasn't really getting open too much, and he had a frustrating couple of routes. Defensively, I mean, they kind of tried, but, like, I don't know what to say. Like, you can't, like, stop Baker on 3rd down. There's really nothing else to say. Like, you got to be better there. Team stats-wise, yeah, the Bucs have the ball a lot better. Getting really pretty good on 3rd down. And, yeah, time possession, too. 1 of 3 turnovers shows a big difference, too. But I really just think the fact that Baker played a pretty clean game, and also the fact that, like, the Bucs just were better. That's all I'll put it. And I already sort of talked about it with this Bucs offense, though. I said Baker has to bounce back. Yep, run the ball in the red zone. They did that, too. And Mike Evans did get some plays in the first drive. They basically did everything I asked them to, and pretty good percentage. 4 pluses. Could have been better in the red zone, though. Defensively, ignore what happens. Yeah, they did. And keep James in the pocket and with Derek Carr. Michael Thomas only had 1 wide open catch. Defensively, I don't think they were that crazy considering what they were going up against. But overall, I think that was a good game by them. I'll give them 4 pluses. Bucs played a very good, solid game. Time for the Saints. Offensively, Alvin Kamara got a lot of touches and didn't really get many touchdowns. So it wasn't a very efficient game from him. And yeah, Derek Carr just couldn't really do a ton. So it was kind of a tough game, but I have to give him 4 minuses. They just kind of laid an egg. Defensively, though, Marshawn Lattimore wasn't a big medic until he wasn't. So I don't know. I'll give him like 2 minuses. It wasn't. Honestly, they could have been worse. The fumbles were pretty bad. That's all I got there. Let's go to the first national game. This game was a doozy.
Here comes Jalen Hurts, and here comes the month of October in the NFL. The 2-1 Washington Commanders and the unbeaten defending NFC champion.
It is a handoff to Samuel, and he could walk in. Jet sweep for a touchdown. 2nd and goal. Give it to him again, and a burst to the end zone for the Eagles touchdown. 2nd and goal. Left side, got bumped back. Lowered the shoulder, lost the ball. Who's got it? He's got it.
Through the center with everybody, or we can move it to the outside, and I'll just do it.
Here's the deep ball. Got hit as he let it go. Oh, Devontae Smith. What a catch. And Jake Elliott to punch it right down.
But those 2 big guys in the middle are what I'm concerned about.
2nd down and 10. Hurts going sideline. Brown and a perfect drop in the bucket for the first half with a field goal. They'll start the second half with another. Gainwell stays in. He hasn't carried it today. It's been all pass when he's been in the backfield. He's got Brown. A.J. Brown cuts it back. Looking for the end zone. Inside the 15. Inside the 10. He's in. And he's got it. So Robinson again. Hits the hole hard. Robinson is in. Touchdown Washington. Howell takes off. Sam Howell runs for a first down. Thrown down at the 30. On 2nd and 4. Hurts looking to throw. Going end zone. Watch Brown. It's there. Touchdown Philadelphia. Howell scrambles and throws, and he's got De'Ami Brown. First down Washington. Howell, one last chance. End zone. Touchdown. On their last breath. It's Jahan Dotson. From 54 for the win. On the way. It is there. And the Eagles remain unbeaten.
Yeah, the Commanders did give the Eagles a good run for their money, but yeah, the Eagles are now 4-0. Of course, most of their wins have been close games, but obviously they proved, at least Jalen Hurts did, that this offense is still really good. The Commanders' defense played a hell of a game, in my opinion, again. The numbers don't look pretty, but I think they played really well. The Commanders in the first half played a ton of great football. They did follow their game plan that they had last year, which is the fact that their defense just really couldn't hold up the whole game, and their secondary really just fell apart after that 59-yard touchdown from A.J. Brown. Again, Sam Howell, 29, 41, 290, a touchdown. Huge bounce back game against a very ruthless defense. Their running game wasn't good. I don't think they even ran it enough either. Brown and Robinson didn't really get too many carries again. That's really one thing I think they could have done better, which is they moved away from the running game. And Sam Howell did run the ball for 40 yards too. Curtis Samuel, of course, the rushing touchdown as well. Defensively, Terry McLaurin went 8 for 86. Of course, he was really solid game. Curtis Samuel, 751. Not as many big plays as you see him, but he still a pretty good game. Diamond Brown caught a bomb. And I don't know whatever you want to call it. And then, of course, John Dotson, 4 for 27, of course, that touchdown as well. Defensively now, I really don't know what else to say other than the fact that, I mean, like, good job, but, like, you couldn't hold up for long enough. Obviously, Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, all their defensive linemen just played really well. But obviously, their secondary just kind of collapsed. Like, all the corners, they struggled. Amanda Forbes Jr. especially. Cameron Curl had 9 tackles and a sack. He really wasn't playing back too much. Kendall Fuller could have played better. Derek Forrest and Benjamin St. Juste all had their struggles. But then again, like, they didn't miss too many tackles either at the end of the day. Joey Slye also had a nice field goal. Eagles-wise, Jalen Hurts had a really good game. Like, at first half, maybe was a little frustrated, but he wasn't trying to do anything too much. 25, 37, 319, 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift had 56 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts 9 for 34, only 3.8 yards per carry, but it's okay. A.J. Brown 9 for 175, 2 touchdowns. Monster game finally broke out. Devontae Smith was also very good for us with that insane play at the end of the half. And then also Dallas Goedert was pretty solid again. Not too many targets, but it worked out. Nicholas Monroe had 3 sacks. Really didn't know that, but I remember that he was definitely involved for sure. Darius Slay, 10 tackles, made a lot of nice plays underneath. Zach Cunningham did have his moments, but he had 9 tackles. And Josh Wood also has Sekasana, right? They get a little pressure, but they neutralized him pretty well. And yeah, overall defensively, they had again decent game. But yeah, whatever. Jake Elliott hit 4 field goals, probably the MVP for the Eagles. Team stats wise, both teams had a lot of yards. Eagles had up more though, and minutes wise. Again, you guessed it. Neither team had a turnover, but the Commanders did have the ball longer. If they were able to force a turnover, I would have said otherwise. But yeah, both offensive lines weren't particularly great. But I will say this though: I just think the Commanders, if they forced a turnover, they would have won this game because they did play overall better football. Were more efficient, and then they were. And Sam Howell did, in my opinion, he played. You can talk about the numbers, but I really think pound for pound he outplayed Jalen Hurts in this game. It was really unfortunate he lost. Like another team later. But either way, let's get right into the keys to game grade. Alright, Commanders offense. I said run him the ball 40 plus times. They didn't even get close to that. Sam's going to have to hit some shots off play action. He did 35 minutes of possession right on it. And Terry McLaurin, he didn't get 50 most targets, but he got his targets. Offensively, I just don't think they moved away from the running game. And they also relied on Sam to arm a couple too many times at least. So I'll give them 3 pluses. I like what they did. And 31 points is 31 points. But I definitely think some of the plays could have been avoided. Defensively, I already talked about their secondary kind of collapsed. Chase Young, I don't know if he got 8 pressures, but I think he got like 5 or 6. Jalen Hurts was able to get around the pocket a little bit too much. DeAndre Swift didn't do too much. They were good there. And then, yeah, they just not under 20 points led. It was tough. They were on the field a lot in the second half. So, I'll be honest, I'll honestly give them a minus, but I don't think they played particularly terrible by any means. It was just the fact they kind of collapsed in the secondary. Like, a lot of miscommunication. Time for the Eagles. All right, offensively, Jalen has to take care of the football. He absolutely did. A.J. Brown got his targets, and DeAndre Swift did get. I think got around that. Rashad, I do think the fact that he didn't get the ball to Rashad Penny, I think, was a little bit of a mistake. Lane Johnson was still very good, and obviously, he could have been. Honestly, I think he might have given him a sack, maybe not, but yeah, offensively they got the job done. I'll give them 4 pluses. Again, they fell asleep a little bit in the first half, but they figured it out. Defensively, 15 most pressures in the first half. I don't think they got that, but they got a good amount of pressure. The corners weren't that great though, because Sam was actually doing a really good job at disguising what he was going to do, and obviously big play. So I had Scary Terry. They did that, and yeah, but Brown Robinson, they did a decent job at least keeping him in the backfield. So I'm gonna be honest, I'll probably give their defense a 2 minuses. It wasn't like they executed super well. They actually made it kind of easy on Sam Howell some plays, but I will say this though. Overall, it was a pretty fun, mentally sound game. I just don't think they really did anything special, and they also gave a couple big plays. So just with all that in mind, I gotta give them a minus. Now let's talk about the game that everyone thought was gonna be really good, but ended up sucking. Here are the highlights.
On inside, because we got a big one today in Buffalo, Miami and the Bills coming up next on CBS.
It's like you'd acting like they scored the touchdown.
There's Allen faking to the right, going to the end zone, and who else? Gabe Davis with the touchdown catch on the opening drop. Back to Achane. Achane's got another touchdown. The rookie. Here's the handoff for the first down and a whole lot more. It's Murray racing down to the 12-yard line. First and goal. Cook as Allen helps push him from behind across the goal line. Still waiting for the signal. Look at this play. And they end up running it. It's Achane taking it home for another touchdown. No way. Oh. Rolling, looking, throwing on the run. Caught at the goal line. It's Diggs with a touchdown.
Something fun to watch every week.
2nd and 6. Josh looking down the sideline. It's Diggs with another flag out. He is able to get away from those 2 tacklers, and no one's going to touch him the rest of the way. Here's Mostert. In trouble, and the ball's out. It's a spare. He's made one from 54 already this year. This from 53.
Field if you want it here.
Looking outside, going end zone, wide open. Berrios brings it in. 1st and 10, looking long.
This race should throw it away.
Lobs it. Oh, look at it. It's Cook. Makes the cutback past Holland. He's inside the 20. AFC Special Teams Player of the Month of September.
What? With the help back here.
2nd and 10. Down the field and intercepted. He overthrew him. It's Micah Hyde. Hyde spinning out of 1 tap. To the end zone. It's a touchdown catch. Stephon Diggs for the 3rd time today.
Throw this, are you, Jim?
They are. No, he won't even get a chance. Gabe Davis there to catch it.
Got man coverage, they alert it. Get people crossing.
Going to be a key. It's going to be all the way to the end zone for Josh Allen. Spencer Brown.
Alright, I'm be honest, I did warn people about the Dolphins in this game, but I'm surprised the Bills put up 48 points. I said the Dolphins defense isn't that good, and they're not that good, obviously, with the score, but Jesus, did the Dolphins get steamrolled in this one. I mean, it didn't come out with a price for the Bills, but without a price for the Bills, but dang, that was a pounding. Tua, he kind of got overwhelmed, which usually does happen when he plays the Bills in Buffalo. Like, the crowd usually just engulfs him. If you remember back in 2021, actually 2021, in that game that they won, they would have made the playoffs. He threw 3 picks. He just got absolutely just like a career high in passing yards just going into that game. But, yeah, he got overwhelmed. Of course, 2021, he got sacked like 8 times. And then last year, I mean, it was a close game, but yeah, honestly, last year was better, but the Bills' defense is definitely worse this year, last year than this year. Again, just kind of got overwhelmed. The pick was a bad throw. Devon Achane getting 8 carries is kind of stupid. He's been one of the most efficient backs, I think, in NFL history through 2 weeks. 2 weeks of actually getting carries, getting 2 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert, like 7 carries. They didn't run the football. I mean, they were getting their butts kicked, but still. Defensive, I mean, Tyreek Hill had a couple catches, but, like, no one really did much outside of Braxton Berrios, who was really the only one getting consistently wide open. But yeah, Tua definitely got engulfed. The running game didn't work out. They didn't have the ball much at all. It was just kind of like a slap in the face offensively. But yeah, Devon Achane, again, having over 11 yards per carry is just absolutely freaking crazy. Defensively, though, there's nothing good you can say. I mean, there really is nothing. I mean, Andrew Van Ginkel had a couple nice sacks on blitzes, but when you're out with Jalen Phillips and obviously your best corner in Jalen Ramsey, kind of see what happens. I doubt this will happen when they play back in Miami, but, oh yeah, when did the Bills and Dolphins play in Miami? Okay, Bills-Dolphins, no, the other game. Oh, shoot, they play Week 18? Oh, shoot, they do play Week 18. So, yeah, I doubt this will happen. But there's nothing good you can say about their defense. They literally didn't do one thing good. Maybe they had one nice play once in a while against the run. But outside of that, no one played well. Like, Andrew Van Ginkel, yeah, they threw sacks, but that's literally it. Like, no one played that well. Meanwhile, for the Bills, Josh Allen literally had more total touchdowns than incompletions. He had 4 incompletions, 4 passing touchdowns, but he also had a rushing touchdown. The running game wasn't anything special. James Cook really did struggle to really break any tackles, really consistently find a hole, but he did have that touchdown as well. And receiving-wise, of course, Stephon Diggs had half of his catches were touchdowns. Of course, had the 55-yard catch and run play. Gabe Davis was also very good. James Cook, of course, had the huge screen play. Yeah, it was a big play game for the Dolphins. Jets. Josh Allen in this Bills offense, and simply put, I mean, the deep ball to Gabe Davis kind of told you it. Like, the Dolphins defense had no chance. And with Josh Allen being so efficient and perfect, I mean, perfect passer rating too, you can't do much about that. Again, under 30 pass attempts is crazy too. Defensively, they didn't have to do too much. I mean, yeah, you could say that like it's hard to guard Tyreek Hill, but they were just sitting back and saying, Tua, beat us to the outside and make us run the football. Because, again, when your offense is scoring 48 points, you don't have to do too much, and you can see that. And that one, of course, Mike Hyde of the pick. They were getting pressured, I'll give them that. They got a lot of pressure on Tua. So that was good, too. But, obviously, again, what you're losing Tre'Davious White's a big killer because he was really getting into his own in this game, too. Team stats-wise, again, the Bills just, I mean, both teams had a good amount of yardage, but again, the time possession doesn't seem like that crazy, but it felt like it too. So again, the Bills dominated up front. The Dolphins secondary got absolutely obliterated, and there's nothing much you can say about other than that. Like, that's kind of what it was like. Again, and the Dolphins had a lot of big plays. It wasn't like they had anything sustainable in that sense, but the Bills just came out here and smacked the Dolphins. Also in the red zone, the Dolphins were just not there. All right, Dolphins offensively, I already said Tua got engulfed. They didn't run the ball enough. And yeah, I kind of did expect this in some ways. But at least, I'll say this, Jalen Waddle was in the game. So that was at least something. So offensively, I'll have to give them like 4 minuses because they did kind of just get overwhelmed. But it wasn't entirely their fault. Defensively, though, I mean, I said they couldn't suck. And what happened? They did suck. So I'll give them 9 minuses. It's not the worst performance I saw, but they were really bad. Again, like just straight up torched. Josh did not throw the ball 40 plus times. James Cook had some big plays, not a ton, but yeah. And also David Long was not good at all. Again, with the blitzes and stuff. Time for the Bills. Not a ton, but they ran it enough. They didn't have the ball that long, but they had it enough. Josh is gonna have to unload in the bottom of the 4th. He did, and they didn't turn over the football. They blew them out. I'll give them 7 pluses. Pretty much almost as good as it gets. Again, Josh, you couldn't have asked to be any better, but the running game could have been better, and I think they could have been the ball longer, but I'll give them 8 pluses, honestly, because 48 points is really good. Meanwhile, this Bills defense, they didn't give any big plays, really at all. I mean, some decent runs, but that was about it. Tyreek Hill had a couple of nice plays, but it wasn't anything crazy. And they really mauled those guards and tackles. They really made it hard. Like, not Von Miller, what is it called? Greg Rousseau and A.J. Epinesa played Super Bowl. So defensively for this Bills defense, I'll give them 5 pluses. Again, they had a very easy job with what they were asked to do, but they got it done the right way. So I'll give them 5 pluses. Very impressive win for the Bills. You'll be looking for the power rankings later in the week. Time for the Raiders and Chargers. Dang, was this game a doozy. Here are the highlights.
From Los Angeles, CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. It's the pitch out here to Davis. Pipkins with a block that opens the door. He's got a lot of speed. And lickety split, here he goes. Merritt with a beat on him. Herbert with a 3rd down and 8. Slater a block. Herbert will run it. They'll get a block from Spiller by Spillane. That is a touchdown. They're going to push with the tight end and back of the quarterback. And Aiden O'Connell has his first NFL touchdown. Is out there. 33-yard field goal for the lead. Herbert made it 13 to the end zone. Touchdown. Keenan Allen. Purdue. Unfor can't get the block.
next couple of weeks, Kevin.
Here they come again. He gets the roll at number 5. Of 22 yards. It is away and through for Daniel Carlson, the All-Pro. On the move. Herbert will drop back. Here they're coming. And there he goes throwing. Intercepted. Picked off by Merritt. Field is 2nd and 25. O'Connell. Here comes Mack. Number 6. Number 6. Carter on the move. O'Connell to Jacobs. Touchdown. Only the back. 3rd and 7 for Herbert. Here they come. Down he got away from Divine Diablo. And somehow corkscrews. 4th and 1. Herbert shoved.
Nope, I don't think he got it.
They need the 12. O'Connell. And caught! Adams at the 4. Goal. O'Connell. Intercepted. It's picked off. Asante Samuel.
I think they're going to hand it off. Instead, they're going to throw it up.
Justin Herbert going deep. He's looking for Palmer. He's got the ball. And that's the ball game.
Yeah, I would say the Chargers blew this game, but the thing is, the Raiders have a backup quarterback, and you kind of that's what I gotta say. Yeah. But Aiden O'Connell, 24, 39, 238. Of course, the pick at the end of the game. Overall, again, with how much pressure he was facing, how bad that offensive line was. Again, it wasn't all on the offensive line, but they were giving up a lot of pressure. Aiden O'Connell hung in there, and he tried to make throws. The running game wasn't much better than it has been all season, but Josh Jacobs at least showed a little more burst, and he was breaking more tackles. Josh Jacobs had a really good receiving game, though. I'll give him that at least. So, he was doing that. Devontae Adams had a lot of nice catches, but you just was kind of getting mauled by Asante Samuel Jr. He really woke up. Hunter Renfrow actually had a good game, too. Had some really nice blocks for Josh Jacobs in the receiving game. And Jacob Myers also had a couple of nice catches. But, yeah, offensively, it was just kind of a frustrating game. Defensively, though, Trayvon Mulring was really good at 6 tackles and an interception, outside of the fact that he get 1 bomb towards the end of the game. Max Crosby was winning every single play, 5 tackles, 2 sacks. I don't know what else to say. He was really good. None of the corners played particularly great, but they did tackle somewhat well. And Divine Diablo didn't miss a tackle either. At least I don't think so. Whatever. Chargers-wise, Justin Herbert, this is like a Matt Stafford type of game. He basically broke his finger and threw a bomb at the end of the game. That's kind of what he did. Also broke it through his sack. Probably got a first down, but he didn't. And obviously, with Brandon Staley being the idiot that he is, made him throw there. The running game, though, that was honestly the big part in my opinion. Because he had, Herbert, of course, ran for 2 touchdowns. But it's more the fact that, Darius Davis is getting carries now. Isaiah Spiller did look tough. Josh Kelly, obviously not very efficient, but it was a lot better. They did drain the clock somewhat well. Josh Palmer, 3 for 77, of course, the game-winning game-stealing catch. Keenan Allen wasn't anything crazy, but he did have the touchdown. Also, Quentin Johnson finally made a play. But yeah, the Chargers offense had it tough. Oh yeah, Khalil Mack casually had, 6 sacks. Yeah. I definitely look for him having 15 sacks this year if he can keep that up. Michael Davis, 8 tackles. He was really good. Sanji Samuel Jr. took 6 sacks, 6 tackles and an interception. Who wasn't good was Jasir Taylor. He got cooked a lot, but I don't really know what to say. They're a little sloppy tackling, but when one guy has 6 sacks, kind of tells you what type of game it was, especially without Joey Bosa. Yeah, the Raiders definitely were better up front, but 3 tackles and they weren't better up front. They were better at I don't know. In the running game, it was kind of confusing. Whatever. 3-1 turnover ratio is kind of what you got there. Obviously, big plays with the story of this game, and very confusing as well. So again, the Raiders just basically fell apart at the end. Chargers won their 2nd straight game. Who the heck are they playing? Oh, they're on a bye, so good for them. They definitely need it. And meanwhile, the Raiders, they're going on Monday nighter against the Packers. Oh yeah, Devontae Adams' old team. He better cook them. And let's hope Jimmy G's back by then. That's all I got there. 7 2 sacks tells you a big difference as well. And for Vegas offensively, I wanted to see Jimmy, basically Aiden O'Connell did his best. Figured out the run game. They still didn't do it. And Devontae Adams did get his targets, though. Offensively, I really don't think it was their worst game, so I'll give them a plus. But Jesus, honestly, I'll give them an equal sign because of the quarterback situation. But Aiden really did play pretty well. They just simply could not execute in the red zone, at least in the last drive of the game, and obviously in their offensive line just sucked. So yeah, defensively, Keenan Allen had a really tough time with those releases. 7+ pressures, yeah, they get the job done there. Nate Hobbs wasn't a bum, and Trayvon Mulray didn't actually make 5+ tackles in the second half. So, Raiders defensively, I don't think they played great per se, but they really limited the yardage-wise, so I will give them 2+. But, again, outside of a couple of those big plays, there really wasn't anything to complain about for them. Now let's talk about the Chargers. Okay, Chargers offensively, Keenan Allen didn't get too many targets, but it was okay, obviously, with how they managed the rest of the game. The run game was a little better. Herbert did throw some bombs. Rashawn Slater was, I won't say he was 100%, but he was steady Eddie overall. Chargers offense, though, I'll give them, it was an ugly game. Equal sign. Chargers defense, J.C. Jackson didn't really even play. Derwin James, I don't think he even played either. Kenneth Murray did play, though. He didn't have 10+ tackles, but he was good. Defensively, they're kind of mixing and matching, but when you have a guy with 6+ sacks, like, Khalil Mack's performance, he was winning every single play. I'll say Khalil Mack's performance is probably about as good as you're going to get from him. But obviously, Chargers defensively, I'll give them 4+. I mean, Khalil Mack was crazy, but the rest of the team, again, I'll give them 5+ because they kind of modeled the receivers. Now let's talk about the Cardinals and 49ers. I mean, at least the Cardinals played okay. I don't know what to say. Like, Christian McCaffrey's the best back in the league right now.
To the Bay Area, where today the unbeaten San Francisco 49ers put that 3-0 record on the line against the Arizona Cardinals.
From Deebo Samuel. Again, McCaffrey with the try and the touchdown. San Francisco by McCaffrey. The swing to McCaffrey. Use check blocking out front. Oh, a hurdle for McCaffrey. Leaping his way for the touchdown. Good snap and hold. Prater's kick is on the way, and it is.
That's the culture here. No egos, no chirping. Genuine appreciation for him going through the read.
Oh, going deep for Ayuk and a fingertip grab inside the 25. Second and goal. Play action. Purdy. Pressure coming late. Throws to McCaffrey. McCaffrey twisted to the goal line and in for the touchdown. Arizona. Dobbs, good
got him again
in the end zone. Got him. Wilson, the diving catch and a touchdown. 10 at the 32. Purdy setting up for a shot down the sideline. It's Ayuk with the catch.
Big tall guy, big tall strong stout guy.
Dobbs off the play fake.
Got him.
Setting up, looking open. It's Brown, and Brown down the sideline.
It really helped.
Dobbs on first and goal with a middle touchdown. Michael Wilson.
Zone reads.
McCaffrey, the motion man. Purdy will set up, looking over the middle. He's got Ayuk, and Ayuk's got it down to the 41. McCaffrey again, and for the 4th time today, Christian McCaffrey scores a touchdown. San Francisco driving. It's Brock Purdy looking for the quarterback sneak. Is he in, or is he stopped short? They're going to unstack the pile.
49ers take care of business. They get the 4-0. They're still the most steady team in the league, and yeah, they've won like 14 straight. 35-16 was the final score. The Cardinals at least kind of showed some life. Josh Dobbs overall played a really solid game. I do think he could have taken a couple more shots here and there, but he did do his best. 28 of 41, 265, 2 touchdowns. The running game just kind of was non-existent. They didn't really get to do a ton of that because they just got down by so much, but they at least tried. Michael Wilson played fantastic, 7 for 76 and 2 touchdowns. Marquise Brown was really efficient, 7 for 96. Zach Ertz was also pretty good. Outside of that, no one really did too much. Defensively, it was just lack of talent. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, at some point, you just can't really expect much. Dennis Gardick has been fantastic, though. He had a sack for them. Outside of that, though, the secondary just really struggled like I expected him to. Jalen Thompson at least showed some fight, though. Kaiser White, again, pre-agent acquisition was okay. David Collins did a decent job against the run. Keitrell Clark, the rookie, was actually pretty decent at 5 tackles, but yeah, it was just a tough game for this defense. Raiders, 49ers wise, I mean, when your quarterback misses one pass, what was it, 95%? I think that's a record for 20 attempts. He was just money, Brock Purdy. Of course, he was throwing the ball downfield to 283 and a touchdown. One of them was the Brandon Ayuk, who, again, when he's back, this team offense looks even better. 6 for 1, 48 and a touchdown. No, not a touchdown, my bad. That was all by Christian McCaffrey. Ray McLeod also 2 for 22. And speaking of Christian McCaffrey, no, let's first talk about Brock Purdy. Yeah, he had a touchdown on the ground, too. But Christian McCaffrey, 4 total touchdowns. Holy bananas. On 27, touches. He had, 177 yards. Damn good game. Defensively, Dre Greenlaw 8 tackles and Fred Warner 8 tackles. They were basically just doing all the work, heavy lifting at least. Though honestly, they didn't get too much pressure. Again, like I was gonna say that what's called Nick Bosa and the rest of the game off the edge were at least like they were getting around, but they really didn't have the time to actually get to the quarterback. Get to Josh Dobbs, who's getting the ball out relatively quick. Outside of Juwan Hargrave just bowling over what's called Elijah Wilkinson once. It might have been Will Hernandez, but yeah, he got enough. That was about it for that pass rush. Team stats wise, again, both teams did have a good amount of yardage. Obviously, the Cardinals did keep up. They actually had the ball long too, but it was just the big plays for the 49ers that really made the difference. And they got it's a more talented team. Like that's what I gotta say. I mean, maybe it'll be closer in Arizona, but it was just a talent difference. Like the Cardinals did play a good game for them though. And for Cardinals offense, Josh Dobbs did run around a little. They just couldn't really run the ball as much as I think they wanted to. Marcus Brown did have a couple deep targets. So offensively, I'm honestly gonna give them 3 pluses. I mean, for what you expect from them, I actually think they played really well. And they could have ran the ball more though. Cardinals defense under 30 points, and that's about it. They didn't do that. I mean, defensively, it was just a lack of talent. Like there's no way around it. Like there's some guys played pretty well, but it was just the secondary just couldn't really keep up. And also, when you can't force incompletion, you can't really compete with these receivers or the running backs. It's really hard to stop an offense. So for that reason, I have to give them like 4 minuses. But I really think they executed and did what their coach Jonathan Gannon told them to. But it was really tough for them. Time for the Niners. And for San Fran, I said you'll find a way to score exactly 30. They scored 35. Debo had 15 most touches. I don't think he did. CMC didn't go under 20. That was okay. The Brock Purdy did have that 40-yard completion. I saw him like, yep, he finally listened to me. But overall, the 49ers offense had it a cakewalk. Of them 7 pluses. They really didn't have much trouble at all moving the football. Defensively, Fred Warner was good. Drake Jackson, Nick Bosa didn't play particularly great, but again, they weren't really getting a chance to. Defensively, it was kind of like a sluggish game in my opinion. I don't think they played that great at all. I'll honestly give them 3 minuses. I wouldn't say they're lucky they won this game because they did play well enough to win, in my opinion, but that was definitely not one of their better performances for sure. Now let's talk about the Patriots and Cowboys. Oh, baby, was this game a doozy. No, it sucked. Like, literally, Patriots, you suck.
To Arlington, Texas, it's America's game of the week, and a good one today as the New England Patriots take on the Dallas Cowboys. And these fans are ready. Exciting early games around the league. So now Brandon Aubrey will attempt the field goal, 23 yards out, and Aubrey puts it up and true. He's been great, 11 for 11. 6, 4-man rush. Jones, now the pocket collapses. Pumps, throws, has a man, and it is caught. Demario Douglas. Oh, what a move! And the kick is perfect. Here's Prescott, looking to throw a fade for CeeDee Lamb. He's got it! Touchdown, Dallas!
To put a lot better product on the field here today, home.
Jones, pressure coming. He's in trouble. Fowler coming. Ball is loose. Fingeres picks it up. Touchdown, Dallas! Up, runs it in from 10 yards out. And now there's a fake. And they're going to score again. Look at this. It's Chauncey Golston. That one's up and perfect. Second down, a lot of time. Jones just can't find him. Back across the field. This time he pays the price. Deron Bland, pick 6.
Or passing situations, and that's what they're built for.
Blitz coming, 4th down. They got to have it. Coming near side. It's another interception.
The red zone struggles continue to really be the only blemish on the record here for Dallas.
Here's Aubrey, 33-yard field goal. A little give. Turpin on the speed sweep. Oh, a lot of room to run. Devontae Turpin. He lost the football. Here we go indeed. Lipke, the fullback, is in for the touchdown, his first. Their young kicker, an opportunity, and he pushes it. No good.
Yeah, the Cowboys slaughter the Patriots 38-3. Yeah, kind of what happened. I'll be honest, none of the America's Game of the Week games so far, or like any of the national games, have been good at all. The only one that was decent was the Eagles and Patriots game. But outside of that, again, the Packers just absolutely buried the Bears 30-20. Then obviously week 2 is the Jets and Cowboys. You know how that went, like tackles and 3 picks. Then last week it was about as bad as you could get, and this week wasn't much better. So that's how I'll put it. Mac Jones was trash in this game. There's no way around it. He had a couple nice completions early, but after that, again, the pick was just like, he's not that athletic. Like, that's how I'll put it. You need a quarterback that can just basically gear up and make the throws he needs to be able to without basically being stupid. it's kind of hard. Like, Mac is just, he makes stupid decisions sometimes, and he's just not able to make some of the throws either. The second pick, I really don't follow him too much for. It was like 4th down. But either way, that was bad too. The scoop and score was completely, I wouldn't say it was completely his fault, but also it was kind of. Offensively, it was just a complete disaster. Their running game was just putrid. It's been putrid all season. The only, Zeke had a couple nice runs. Outside of that, though, it's been a bad season for that. Bill O'Brien, #1 priority coming the year was fix the running game. Fix it out. Have them run more gap schemes. Stop running the zone blocking. What happened? It gets even worse. Because I'll be honest, they don't have any guys who can actually run block right now. I mean, maybe Trent Brown, but he's the freaking left tackle. Of course, it's harder. You're not expected to do much there. None of the receivers played well at all. All big play crap. No, none of them are very consistent. No, they need a new receiver. Just dump all these guys. Kendrick Bourne sucks. Defensively, Kyle Duggar was the only guy making really any plays. He was literally the whole run defense. They were getting pressure though. Josh Uche, DJ Rice Jr. were good. They did play well in the red zone, but they were just getting torched out to that. Matt Judon and Christian Gonzalez, of course, both left with injuries. They're 2 best defensive players. They have a lot to work to. I mean, Kyle Duggar's on a different level. He's on his own. Forget about him. Obviously, Josh Uche is very, very good too. But yeah, this defense, with the injuries they've got, Jalen Mills has to figure out a way to be at least somewhat viable. Of course, Chad Riley missed that 1 field goal. I really don't care about that. Dak was solid, but he really didn't impress me too much. He kind of just did his thing. The running game didn't have to do a lot at all. 11 carries for Tony Pollard. CeeDee Lamb, of course, had a 20-yard touchdown. Again, no one really had to do a ton because they were just moving the football. I would say at will, but it was really easy for them, especially when your defense scores a lot of points for you. Offensively, again, they still suck in the red zone, which is something I'll get to later, but it wasn't great. Defensively, you outscored the Patriots offense. You've been really good this year outside of last week. Of course, Ron Bland had 2 interceptions, and when you can maul everyone up front, there's a good chance you know what you're doing. So, yeah, defensively, they really played well. Speaking of that, team stats-wise, I mean, the Patriots did have some yardage, but yeah, the Cowboys did their thing. They had the ball a lot longer. 2-3-0 turnover ratio is a big difference, especially 2-0 touchdown ratio off of those. And obviously, I'll say it. Cowboys' red zone offense is terrible because they simply just don't run it in the red zone, which is mind-boggling to me. They got to get back to that. The best red zone offense in the league, run the dang football there. That's what they've got to do because it's so hard for defenses to count for all these receivers. Again, it's condensed space, which is easier for them. But when you can run the football in the red zone, you can have a really good red zone offense. The Cowboys just aren't doing that right now. That's why they kind of are stuck in there. But yeah, they got a huge game against the Niners that week on SNF. If they can't run the ball in the red zone, they're going to get their butt smacked. For the Patriots, you got the Saints, and you're playing a quarterback without an arm. So, better win that one. Okay, Pat's offense said run the ball again. No, they didn't. Mac did take a couple shots. I'll give him that. And yeah, the yak for Devontae Parker was there. Cause sometimes offensively it was just a complete crap show. I'll give him 7 minuses. They moved the football somewhat, so I won't give him anything lower than this. But it was more Mac or nothing. Patriots defense competing man with CeeDee Lamb for Christian Gonzalez. He didn't play the whole game. That's kind of really where it happened. Dak did have to make a lot of throws to Jake Ferguson, which he didn't want to. And obviously, Tony Pollard didn't have any big runs. Defensively, overall, again, with what happened with the bad injuries, I do think they at least tried to attempted to, but they had some bad moments too. I'll give them a minus, but I really don't think it was their worst game per se. Honestly, I'll give them an eagle sign. Time for the Cowboys offense. Alright, offensively, again, they just didn't have to do too much. I don't think they were that great. Again, they still struggle in the red zone, but they had some really nice plays drawn up in their offensive line, played particularly great, so I'll give them 2 pluses. Again, just the red zone offense has to be better. Cowboys defense, they outscored their offense, the Patriots offense. There's nothing else I can say. If you can make plays like that, you're going to be in your business. I'll give them 8 pluses. They were really good. Coverage-wise, they could have been a little better, but that's about it. You can't learn much better than that. Now let's get to Sunday Night Football. This was probably the best game, honestly, at least to watch. This was really entertaining.
The first night of October in New York. And Tommy Townsend hold, opening drive, field. Short. Pacheco almost caught the backfield. Instead, into the open field and accelerating. Pacheco in for the touchdown. Spring 3, Mahomes wide open. It's gone. Right to the end zone. Personal foul, face mask. Offense number 74. That ball up in the end zone.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected Zach freaking Wilson to outplay Patrick Mahomes until the final 2 drives, which was true because, Jesus, the Chiefs, that was a close game, but yeah, of course they won. Let me put it like this. Zach Wilson played really, really well. Again, I get the fumble at the end of the game. You can moan all you want about that, but up until that point, Zach Wilson played a clean, very good game. That's all I'll put it. I love the way Zach Wilson played. But Mahomes-wise, 18 of 32, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had another duck. Could have had another pick. He was bad through the air. The Jets played really good zone, let him run around, but didn't let him have the throws he usually like to make. So that was a big part of it too, and he also made some stupid decisions. Like Mahomes, bad game. The running game was really just Isaiah Pacheco on that 146-yard touchdown. Fun fact, that's his longest of his career. But yeah, they're definitely going to play better against the Vikings. I mean, honestly, the Jets defense played out of their minds. Travis Kelce was pretty solid. No great person with a touchdown, but outside of that, no one really did a ton. Defensively, Drew Tranquill had 7 tackles. Trent McDuffie had 5 tackles. Again, they got a little pressure, but outside of that, their secondary really didn't challenge many of these receivers, and they also, they really didn't do a good job in the scramble drill against Zach Wilson. But Harrison Butker did these 3 chip shots. Zach Wilson, like I said, he was, again, start of the game was a lot of underneath easy throws. He started to hit them, got in a rhythm, then they started making them throw harder passes. On the money for every single one. Of course, the one play where he broke away and almost threw a touchdown to C.J. Uzomah again, that was crazy. I'm like, yeah, he hit that throw. This place is going to go bananas. He almost hit it. But yeah, actually the fumble at the end of the game really sucked. But yeah, Zach Wilson looked really good in this game. The running game was terrible, as usual. I mean, Brees Hall had 1 long run. That was about it. Allen Lazard again caught a big play, and then also the touchdown. Garrett Wilson was also very solid. I think him and Zach Wilson are developing something. Again, I'm not going to overreact and say Zach Wilson's a good quarterback by any means at this point, but he did play well against this Chiefs defense. They'll play the Broncos, so honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws for like 300 yards next week. It would sound absolutely bananas, but he's playing the worst defense in the league next week. So that's what we got there. Defensively, they really played again. I was going to they disguised the zone really well, and they also gave Mahomes time to roll around, which you usually don't want, but for the way he played this game, it really worked out. C.J. Moses interception 4 tackles. He was really good at assisting these guys. Quincy Williams had 10 tackles. He was all over the field. Ashton Davis had its interception. They didn't exactly again, they weren't trying to get pressure in this game. Bend, don't break really worked. Greg Zerline, of course, missed a field goal too. Team stats-wise, again, the Chiefs did have over 400 yards, but it was really a running game, obviously. They had, again, 32 to 27. Again, the Chiefs did have the ball. 2-1 turnover ratio, too. Again, this was just a really solid game to watch. Chiefs scores came out on top because of that Mahomes run, but overall, the Jets played a really good game. All right, the Chiefs offense, Mahomes had 4 touchdowns. Travis Kelce was pretty good. I'd say Isaiah Pacheco was really good in the first half, too. Offensively, it was just kind of an ugly game overall. I wouldn't say it was a terribly off game, but I'll honestly give them a minus. They just didn't play. Honestly, 2 minuses. They just didn't get. They figured it out in the end of the game, but that offense, they did struggle. Not awfully, but they did. Defensively, make Zach beat you. He did beat you in some points. No Brees Hall. Again, he did have a long run. Garrett Wilson, it wasn't exactly a frustrating game for him, but he definitely was limited. So, defensively, they definitely bailed him out a little bit. It was kind of just the fact, again, the Chiefs didn't exactly play a great game. I'll honestly give them 3 minuses. They just kind of played like, bleh. But, again, the Jets just kind of choked themselves through. Again, that offense, yeah, I'll still give them 2 minuses, because, again, it was just for running the clock. They did run the clock out in 7 minutes, though, so clock management was A+. But outside of that, the Chiefs did not play a great game. Time for the Jets closing this thing out. And closing out the NFL Week 4 Sunday recap, I got this Jets offense and then the defense with the grades. Zach Wilson was really good. I mean, it wasn't really good, but he was good for, again, what you expect from him. So for that reason, I'll honestly give this offense 3 pluses. Again, they missed a couple opportunities, but I think that'll come into fruition next week. Defensively, keep your offense in the game until at least the half. They kind of did. Blitz Mahomes on 3rd and long, and then John Franklin didn't get 3+ sacks, but he did play a heck of a game. So Jets defensively, again, a little disappointing in the end, but they did play well overall. I'll honestly give them 4 pluses. The Jets played a very solid game for their standards. It wasn't their best game, but they did keep themselves in it, and again, just tough loss. They had a game against the Broncos next week. See if they can do it. Obviously, so I got for the Week 4 NFL Sunday recap. See you in the next one, of course, for Monday Night Football recap tomorrow. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, again, really good Sunday.
Down and 8. Daniels out of the pocket. He's going to try and run for it. Breaking tackles.